Hello, everyone. It is, what is it? March 6th, 2025. I'm a little late to the game. I I watched the address last night or night before last to Congress, and then I got sick. I had a head cold, just didn't feel like it yesterday. I'm coming out of it now, but um, if y'all watched the presidential address to Congress, which I guess you would actually call that a State of the Union address. I know he's got another one coming up here in the next few weeks, so that should be interesting as well. The Democrats, if you didn't watch it, were childish to say the least. They were actually they were they were horrible. I don't know how else to put this. Now, I want to back up here a little bit here and make something perfectly clear. I am not a person who hates people who are Democrat. Okay, I want to make sure for for people around me, people in my people that I meet, I have nothing. I have no axe to grind against people that are Democrats. I don't. I don't. I think you're a little naive at times, but that's okay. Most people at some level are, including myself. I can be fooled just as much as the next guy. But as Mark Twain said, it's easier to fool someone than to convince them that they've been fooled. And I pretty much live by that. I think that's a great, probably one of the most prolific things I've ever heard because it's true. People have a tendency to not want to admit that they were wrong. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. I'm one of them. I don't like admitting I'm wrong. But if you show me evidence that pretty much shows that what I've been believing all along is incorrect, I'm willing to look at it. I am. I'm not going to just defiantly say that's absolutely not true. I don't do that. I've never done that. You show me evidence, proof, even another uh, view. I got no problem with that. So I just want you to understand, because I've had people that I know, people that friends of mine who have said, I said, why do you hate Democrats so much? I don't hate Democrats. Not the average person on the street. I don't hate them at all. Oh, by the way, just for the this is Rethink 9/11. Okay, that's the name of my. It's a really good website you should go to. I don't want to get into it right now, but it's architects and engineers for 9/11 truth, and it's about 50 or 60,000 architects and engineers who will show you evidence that the official story of 9/11 is not true. So that's what that hat represents. But back to what we were talking about. I don't hate Democrats. Okay, I don't hate the average Democrat on the street. Some of them are a little bit. If you've seen some of the TikToks, people are just absolutely out of their minds. Doesn't mean I hate them. I kind of feel sorry for them because they've bought into this fantasy world that doesn't exist, and it's a fantasy world that no one else wants to be a part of. A de minimis amount of people believe what you're saying, but that's okay. Doesn't mean I hate them. I I I just don't. I'll tell you who I hate. I hate Democrat politicians. Okay, that's who I hate. That's who I despise. That's who I want Donald Trump to go scorched earth on. Okay, that's who I'm talking about. I have a lot of friends who are Democrats. Part of my family, everything. Can we talk about it? To some you can, some you can't. And that's fine. Again, it doesn't mean I hate you. I just want to make sure that's perfectly clear before we get into this. Because when I start using the words Democrat and the lunatic left, I'm talking about politicians. I'm talking about people in power. That's different than the guy down the street. Okay? I have no axe to grind with somebody who lives next door to me who's a Democrat. I make fun of them a little bit. Of course, they're making fun of me too. That's fine. That's fine. But at the end of the day, maybe we can get together and we can debate these things. But apparently, the judging from what happened Tuesday night at that when Trump gave his speech to Congress, apparently you either have to be all on board or they absolutely despise you. And how's that working out for you? Can I ask the Democratic Party how that's working out? It's not working out at all. You are losing and you're being made fun of. You're looking like idiots. You really are. Um, and one of the best lines of the night was right here. I just love this. And Trump was right. Trump was right. It turns out all we needed was a new president to start pushing, start kind of guiding this luxury liner, ocean liner, in the right direction. That's all we needed. But what do the Democrats do? The Democrats at this, and this is the lunatic left when I'm talking about it. This is who represents the lunatic left. They were all there last night. And if they weren't there, they're even worse, like the AOCs of the world. She wasn't there. If the AOCs of the world are the ones that you're going to put in charge, then your party's doomed. I don't think that the Democratic Party can come back from this. What went on last Tuesday night? I don't think you can. Whoops. I don't think you can come back from that. You looked like petulant children. You looked like snobs. The Democrats looked like snobs. A friend of mine said they looked like that part of the chamber looked like the aisle of misfit toys from Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. He's exactly right. They're all freaks. They all look weird. You're wearing pink, what, in solidarity of women? And then on the very same day, you voted against a bill that banned transgenders from playing in women's sports. You can't make that up. That's absolutely the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. How dare you? And then with your little signs that you were holding up, which I thought was funny because I knew while I was watching this, I watched the entire thing. It was 90 minutes. It was 99 minutes long. That's the longest address to Congress ever. It even beats Bill Clinton, who Bill Clinton was like a preacher. You can't get him to shut up. You just can't. Bill was terrible about that. I hated watching his, but this was different. It got a little bit in the middle. It was a little slow, but I got to tell you, standing up there as a 76 or 77-year-old man and being able to, it didn't look like he was tired at all. And then after this, he immediately went to the Oval Office, did some more work. The guy's unstoppable. He thrives on this. And he's kind of funny. He really is. When you get right down to it, the guy is hilarious. He would make a good stand-up comedian. But when the Democrats had their little signs, which, by the way, it all looked like they were at an auction. You know what I mean? You ever been in an auction where you hold up your sign? It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It was some of the, I don't know what they thought they were doing. I don't know who gave them this advice, but if they'd come to me and they'd said, "Hey, Damon, what do you think we ought to do at this address?" I would have told them, get up and applaud every time everybody else gets up. Act like you're on board. Diffuse the whole situation. They can't make fun of you when you do that. Can we have policy differences? Absolutely. That's what a democracy is all about. But you can't act like little children. You can't, who are having a fit over in the corner, stomping their feet. It doesn't work that way. It's not good. It doesn't look good. And then what did they do? I knew they were going to do this. I knew someone on the internet would grab a picture of them holding their signs up and Photoshop them, which is exactly what they did, as you can see here. Why would you do that? You're setting someone up. You're playing the straight man, is what you're doing. You're setting them up for making fun of you. I mean, look at those faces. Look at him. And what's her name? Not Presley, but I can't remember. She's one of the squad. She said she didn't even bring a sign. She says, "I don't get my retarded sign. I didn't get my retarded sign," which I can't remember what it said on that, but she didn't even She didn't even have the time to, uh, get her own sign. She made it. She made it herself. It it just looks bad. Look at the two down in front. Look at them. Would you want to be married to that? Would you want to be involved in that? I wouldn't. They look horrible. They're horrible people. These are the cream of the crop when it comes to horrible and clueless, I would say. The Democratic Party, it's a possibility. And I was talking to a friend of mine just a minute ago on the phone. It's a possibility, and I hope it comes true, that I'm 65 years old. There's a possibility I will go uh, meeting my maker before there's another Democrat in the White House. I don't know how they're going to come back from this. When you made fun and you refused to stand up for let's see, where was it at? Yeah, here we go. Let me show this right quick. Um, again, there we go. Yeah, yeah. Donald Trump recruits a 13-year-old cancer survivor to the U.S. Secret Service. And folks, if you didn't watch this, you need to, because it was very touching. It says Donald Trump has recruited a 13-year-old cancer survivor to the U.S. Secret Service during his address to members of Congress. Speaking from the lectern on Tuesday night, President Trump made the decision to appoint DJ Daniels as the newest member of the highly secretive department. The teenager wanted to be a policeman, according to Republicans, with the boys now inducted into several police departments, made a member of the U.S. Secret Service, and issued with an official badge. It says Daniel was seen to throw his arms around the Secret Service director as Trump called him out from the stage before he was lifted into the air, showing his badge for all to see. Now, mind you, this kid was okay. It says during his speech, the U.S. president uh, pointed out a 13-year-old in the audience who was diagnosed with brain cancer in 2018. The teenager was given only 5 months to live at the time of his diagnosis, with Trump telling Tuesday night's audience that the government was going to do you the biggest honor of them all. And the honor was making the teenager an official agent of the United States Secret Service. Now, folks, I don't know who needs to tell the Democrats this, but Donald Trump is an expert at theater. Okay? Now, he brought this child up there, which he had every right to. Donald Trump is not saying he cured his cancer. Okay? That's what Rachel Maddow wants you to believe on MSNBC, and I'll play that here in just a minute. She wants you to believe that he exploited this child. She called it Despicable, which is actually the title of this podcast. She called it Despicable, that he would have the audacity to bring in a 13-year-old child, make him a Secret Service agent, an honorary Secret Service agent. It's kind of like Make-A-Wish Foundation. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? And this was just after Donald Trump had said the Democrats on the right-hand side of the aisle, to my right on stage, would not stand up if I cured cancer. If he went through a whole laundry list of things. They won't clap, they won't smile, they won't do, and he set them up. He set them up for this. So they had to sit on their hands when everyone else was in the building, were applauding this kid, this cancer survivor, a brain cancer. They gave me 5 minutes to live when it was 2018. Here we are, 2025. He's lasted 7 years longer than they thought he was going to. And you sit on your hands and you won't stand and you won't clap. And you just sit there with that sourpuss look on your face. Dems, you're going to have to learn. And I don't want to see a one-party country. I don't. It's not good for anybody. You have to have debate. I mean, think about it. When Clinton was in office, who was he up against? Who was he up against? Newt Gingrich. They didn't like each other, but they got together. They made deals. They compromised. They talked about it. They came to a conclusion that was best for the country. Bill Clinton's no hero. Believe me, I can't stand him. But at the end of the day, he was willing to talk to him. Ronald Reagan had Tip O'Neill, Speaker of the House. They talked. They got things done. What's wrong with that? The Democrat Party is self-destructing right before your very eyes. It's almost in real time. They've elected a new director to the DNC today. He's as radical left as you can get. I'm not even going to say his name. Look it up. They did it today. They promoted him to a position of power. He's got a 10-point program that's going to bring back the Democrats from the doldrums they're in right now. And every one of those points has to do with race and police brutality. That's their main thing. Civil rights. And I don't know what else to say. And this kind of despicable behavior. They had parents of slain women, girls. I can't remember that one's name. But anyway, the point is, no honor. The Democrats have no honor. They wouldn't stand up for any of this. Any of the people he introduced had a great story or a tragic story. And he let everybody know what he was doing to try and remedy this situation. Obviously, he can't bring people back from the dead, but he can honor them. He made a national park. He named some. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. It was very moving. I mean, I got teary-eyed watching this kid. And then he had a kid who was in high school that had I've never heard of this. He had a 4.64 grade point average. How do you do that? Talk about smart. And he wants to go to West Point. And Donald Trump made it where he's going to go to West Point. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? If you have the power, you're going to make an example out of this guy. You're going to make an example out of him. You want children to try to attain this same kind of thing. Do your best. What's wrong with that? And what do the Democrats do? They sit on their ass and stare out into space. And to start it off with, Al Green, representative from Houston, Texas, made an ass out of himself early on. Let's see if I can find that. Yeah, I think this is it, right?
The disruption of proper decorum. The chair now directs the sergeant at arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
There's Al. Al with his ponytail. Does Al look like a pimp? I think he does. He's got his cane. Now watch this. Keep watching. He's pissed. Look at it. Yeah. Sergeant at Arms had to take him out. He's being censured as we speak by Congress, which is actually a great thing. Yeah, get rid of this guy. Get rid of this guy. What is it with Houston? How dare you in Houston elect an idiot like this? Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here and don't come back. Yeah. And now what's he going to do? He's going to file articles of impeachment against Donald Trump. It's ridiculous. The Democrats have absolutely freaking lost their minds. There's no other way to look at it. You are allowing the inmates to run the asylum. And it's not working out for you. This will go down. All you would have to do is play clips of this night in the 2026 election for Congress or House of Representatives. That's all you got to do. That's all the Republicans got to do. Show this. 80%. I think it was over 80% approval rating for Donald Trump's speech. 80%. Whoops, that's unheard of. That never happens. It's usually always partisan for the most part. People are sick of this shit. They really are. And I'm one of them. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of hearing about these people. And he's right. All we needed was a new president. Somebody with a little guts. It was perfect. Get these people out of here. Vote them out. Who's voting for these people? Really? Who is voting? I cannot stand these people. I wish them nothing but the worst. The Elizabeth Warrens of the world. By the way, Trump brought up, he actually called her out indirectly. I think this is it here. It was about funding for Ukraine. And I mean, and they just, he's a master at this. He really is. You're up against a guy that's a genius when it comes to television. And here's the funny part. The Democrats are the party of Hollywood. Of Hollywood. Who gave them advice that said it would be best to just hold up basically a ping pong paddle? What do you're operating like it's 1985. This is a new world. It's a new world. And as far as the Ukrainian war, I mean, I am 100% behind Donald Trump. The killing has to stop. It doesn't matter whose side. The young people of Russia and Ukraine need to stop dying. It's 2,000 a week die in this war, needlessly. And we just keep throwing money at it. It's stupid. Elizabeth Warren is stupid. Everyone in Congress who is a Democrat is stupid. Let me say that again for the cheap seats. Everyone who is a Democrat at this point and this time in American history who is a Democrat is stupid. Okay? Are we clear? Because I've had it with these people. I have had it with them. I will not give them, it's scorched earth time. Scorched earth. And I think this was the start of it right here. We're talking about the money going to Ukraine. He's cutting it all off. He's not giving them any more military weapons to use. He's cutting it off. And watch this. Oops. I'm sorry. I'll play that again. Sorry about that.
Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. You would say Pocahontas says yes.
Pocahontas says yes. And everybody knew who he was talking about. Everybody, look at her. And she's clapping like a fucking moron. I don't know how else to describe this. This woman is beyond reprehensible. She really is. She's an idiot. How she keeps getting elected, I don't understand. How do they keep electing these people? Common sense. That's all I'm asking for. Elizabeth Warren's she makes $150,000 a year, and yet she's got $60 million in the bank. How's that work? No wonder they're so upset about this money that's going out under USAID that's being cut off. Of course, now Amy Comer Bryant, or Amy Comer, what the hell is her name? the Supreme Court judge, Amy. Hang on just a second. Let me. Okay, we're back. I had to get this right because I sound like an idiot. Amy Coney Barrett. Okay, this was his pick. This was his appointment to the Supreme Court. One of the three, and she has voted against him having, the president having the ability to stop the funding in foreign aid. That's what's terrible about the Supreme Court. And I'm coming to the conclusion, and some people that I've talked to may be correct. I've had several people tell me that all offices in federal government should have term limits, including the Supreme Court. Do I agree with that? I think judges should. I think congressmen should. I think senators should. The Supreme Court's a little different, but with this kind of turncoat, I agree. I agree with them. I think that may be the answer. You go into the Supreme Court, you're there for 6 years or 8 years or 10 years, whatever. I don't think it should be a lifetime appointment. I don't, because these people will turn on you. They will. I don't know if she's been threatened. I don't know if they've gotten to her. Maybe she's got something to hide in her past. I don't know. That's possible. And they've gotten to her. I know they've gotten to Roberts because I think his name is on the Epstein list. I do. I think that's a possibility. And I think that's one reason I don't think you or I were ever going to lay eyes on that. Um, the Department of Justice today and the new director, the new attorney general, uh, they're going to have a hard time getting this thing out because I don't think there's a lot of people in high places that do not want that list out. So anyway, back to my point, Amy Coney Barrett is a traitor in my book. A friend of mine says, don't ever trust a woman with 3 names. I don't know if that's accurate, but in this case, it applies. I just think it's horrible that she had the audacity to basically thumb her nose at the president of the United States. There's no reason for him not to have the ability, um, basically to stop funding of something that Americans do not want us to have any part in. So basically what you're telling me when you make a decision like this is that the federal judges and the Supreme Court judges have more power than the president of the United States. That's wrong. That's wrong. Shouldn't be that way. They shouldn't have the final word in this. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I tell him just to defy it. Defy it. Who cares? Who cares what she says? Who gives a damn? I don't care. Come and get me. Come and get me. Do me a favor. Come and get me. Yeah. So I don't know. I want to play this little clip. This is MSNBC last night or night before last, talking about this thing with this kid, and what they said was just listen to this. If you haven't heard this, it's the most it's the most reprehensible thing I believe I've ever heard. You've got a kid here on the left who obviously you can tell right away his growth is stunted. His dad was picking him up. He's 13 years old. So his health is still an issue, I'm sure, at some level. He just got made an honorary Secret Service agent by the President of the United States and the director of the Secret Service. It's a wonderful moment. But this group on MSNBC found a way to make it bad. Listen to this. So far, we're good, right? I agree with that. Okay. Look at these 2 idiots. I don't know about you, but that's the most despicable thing I've ever heard. Who the hell does she think she is? And what's she talking about, the people who committed suicide? Donald Trump didn't make them commit suicide. Your whole argument doesn't make any sense. So you're saying it's the most despicable thing I've ever heard. This Wallace. Well, I shouldn't say that. It shouldn't be. I can't really say it's the most despicable thing I've ever heard. I heard uh, Rachel Madcow saying that it was despicable that Donald Trump brought this kid up on stage. It's ridiculous. Who in the hell do you think you are? I just couldn't believe this. It was so horrible. So horrible. Let's see. Let's see if I can find that one. I wanted to play that for you because I probably won't be able to find it when I want to. Nope. No. Nope. Sorry. I'm not going to dig for it. Nicole Wallace. That's who it is. Yeah. Some of the comments here on this was a Nicole Wallace just went after a little kid with cancer, saying, "I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump supporters." I mean, even Jen Psaki looked like she was uncomfortable. You can't say things like that. The woman should be fired for this. She should be fired. Actually, Rachel Maddow should be fired too for calling her bosses racist. Yeah, it was unbelievable. I don't know how to even respond to that at some levels. I don't know what you say to something like that. In other words, Nicole Wallace is blaming Donald Trump indirectly for suicides of police officers, which I've never heard of. I know there was one police officer who died the next day from a stroke. I didn't know that a lot of these people committed suicide. What's that tell you? What's that tell you? They couldn't live with this. This was so horrific, so horrible what they'd done that they committed suicide. That's what it tells you. She doesn't want to talk about that. She doesn't want to talk about that. The only person who was actually killed was a white woman by a DC police officer, a veteran. That's the only person that died. Yeah, Ashley Babbitt. She was the only one that was actually killed. She was murdered by a DC police officer. It's that simple. No one else was killed that day. Don't let him kid you. Don't let him kid you. That's a lie. And not only that, but who in their right mind? And again, we're talking about Democrats here. So right mind may not apply here. But who in their right mind would believe these people were going to what? Take over the federal government? That's the story they're trying to tell you. That's the story they're trying to spin in this instance. She wants you to feel bad because these January 6th people who rioted, I'll give you that. They did some stuff they shouldn't have done. I personally, I think Donald Trump shouldn't have never been anywhere near the Capitol on January 6th. He shouldn't have been. He shouldn't have given the speech. I mean, I would have advised against it if I was, if I was his advisor. I was like, no, you don't want to do this, no, because they're going to use this. And I said it all along, even as it was happening. I said they're going to use this. They're going to use these pictures, this video. They're going to use it forever, and they are to this day. You've got Liz Cheney. She can't have a conversation without mentioning it. Which, by the way, where's she at? Where's Liz at? I haven't seen her around much. She give it up? She gonna go home and just hang out with her lesbian lover and her and her old man that doesn't have a pulse, Dick? They're gonna hang out? It's not Elizabeth Warren. Shit, I'm Elizabeth Cheney. Liz Cheney. Jesus, got that wrong. Sorry, I apologize. But you know who I was talking about. So anyway, that is the kind of ridiculous stuff. And MSNBC wonders why there's more people watching Bugs Bunny cartoons than them. MSNBC is going to be a thing of the past pretty shortly. I don't see you being able to pay the bills with the amount of people that are watching. I saw the other day they were doing, I guess the numbers were out for February. Yeah. Their average viewership was in the 40,000s per show. That's horrible. That's absolutely atrocious. And you're paying Rachel Maddow, you're paying her, what, $25 million a year? God knows what Jen Psaki's getting. It's hard to tell what Nicole Wallace is being, what she's making. You can't keep that up. You can't. CNN's got the same problem. No one is watching this anymore. No one. And there's a good reason for it. There's a great reason for it. The reason no one's watching it is because you've lied constantly. You've lied to us. Most people won't go back to someone who keeps lying to them. Now, sometimes in a marriage, you will do that. But I mean, for the most part, if I go to a doctor and he lies to me, I probably won't return. It's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people like this personality. But this is serious business here. Very serious business. This is about the country as a whole, about my life, about your life, about your kids' lives. And if someone continues to lie to me, if I find out that you've lied to me once, I'm not going to believe anything you say again. You have no credibility. Their credibility is in the shitter. You can't get around that. Same thing with the Democrats. The very same thing. The Democrats are not going to come back from this. I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have to burn the building down, tear up the concrete, put a new foundation in, and start rebuilding this thing. It's dilapidated. It's fallen down. You're not going to be able to do this. Matter of fact, at the censure, well, let me see if I can find this. They actually sang at the censuring of Al Green. They actually censured him today for that outburst he did at the congressional address. And oh, here it is. Let me play this for you. Okay. Now this is interesting. This is interesting. This is how it operates in Congress. You believe this? It looks like a school, a lunchroom. Watch these idiots. They're getting together down here. They're going to start singing. Yeah, they're going to start singing here. There it is. Oops. I guess I'll put it on the screen. How about that? Look at this. I'm going to back it up. Sorry. I didn't have that on there. Look at this. What is it with these people? It's the same group. The misfits. The aisle of misfit toys. Who does this? And there's your leader, Huggy Bear. And they're letting him do it. Now arrest every one of them. Look at this. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What who does that? And you wonder why you're losing all the time. This is lunacy. This is insanity. And don't give me any of that protest shit. I don't want to hear it. There's a time and a place for this. This ain't it. Decorum. That you're supposed to have decorum in these places. You're letting the kids in. You're letting the kids run around with no parents. These people are pathetic. I can't stand them. And I'm not talking about Democrats that I know. I want to make sure I'm clear on that. But if you follow this blindly, I don't know. There's not much hope for you. There really isn't. This is inexcusable behavior. I've never seen anything like this before. In all my years watching politics, I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like what happened the other night. Democrats sitting on their hands when you're talking about murder victims, cancer survivors, and you sit on your hands and you won't clap because Orange Man bad. That's not much of a policy to run on. That's not much of a platform that Orange Man is bad. It didn't work for you. It didn't work in 2016. It didn't work in 2020. And I don't give a damn what you say. They stole that fucking election. Okay. They stole it. They stole it in the middle of the night. They did it legally, but they still stole it. So he's won 3 in a row. And what's funny is you've elevated him to a level that is unprecedented in the United States. Indirectly, you did that. The Democrats did that. If they'd have let him win in 2020, he would be gone right now. Donald Trump would have had 2 consecutive terms, and then you would be probably back in the White House. Maybe, if you did what was right. But you can't do that because you got people like this. You got these crazy people. Crazy. There's no other way to put it. When you continue to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, you're insane. And they continue to do it. I'm sick of this. So you've got 3. if he, and what's funny is they did us a favor. They stole the election in 2020. They got a cadaver to be president of the United States. And by the way, where's Joe? Where's Joe at? Doesn't he give a damn about the Democratic Party anymore? Haven't heard a word from him. Hell, he could be dead for all I know. No one cares. He's gone. They have no leader. They've never had a leader. They haven't had a leader since Clinton. And don't give me Barack Obama. They're finding out he is, and we're all finding out he's not who he said he was. They need a real leader. They need somebody to come. They need somebody from the outside to come in. They actually had somebody. They really did. They've had people. They've had Tulsi Gabbard. They had Elon Musk. There's been several people that could have come and elevated themselves and taken over the Democratic Party and maybe taken it somewhere. But we can't do that. We can't, because we're too worried about God knows what. I really don't understand. Transgenderism, that's the hill you're going to die on. No one, I'm telling you, there are very few people in the United States, be it Democrat, Republican, Independent, or the guy that doesn't give a shit. Okay? There are people out there who do not give a damn about politics. I mean, what do we get? 55% voting this year? That's nothing. It should be 100% or close to it. But it's not, because there are people who don't give a damn. They say it doesn't matter. It's not going to help me. I'm not going to take the time. I agree with that. But you know one thing they do agree on? Transgenderism is a mental illness. Okay? This isn't normal. Someone saying that they should be a different sex is not normal. It's just not. And men playing sports against women. You want to, that's the top one. That's the top one. No one agrees with that. No one. So you keep going down this road, Democrats. Do me a favor. Keep going down this road. I think it's a great idea. I saw the other day that the person who was out in front for the Democratic nomination in 2028 was Kamala Harris. Mr. Walz, I think, is thinking about making a run at it. Really? You guys think this is a good idea? More proof that you're out of your damn minds. More proof. There's another way to look at it. More proof that you've lost every bit of sanity that you ever had. I'm sick of it. And I hate Democrats. I do. Again, I want to preface that. It's like when you say, not all FBI agents are bad. There are some good agents on the phone, but the FBI as a whole. And that's the same thing here. The FBI at the upper management, they're horrible. They're corrupt. They're terrible. I hope Kash Patel and Dan Bongino go in there and clean house. I think they need to fire everybody up there. And I'm kind of waiting on that. We're waiting. That's what we're doing. And maybe this will take place in the next, I mean, again, it's only been 6 weeks. So it takes time. It takes time. You get into these things, it takes time to get that done. But at the end of the day, keep it up, Democrats. Just keep it up. It's going to work out great for you. Please continue this. Have Kamala Harris be your savior, okay? Because if Walz and Harris are your running partners for 2028, I can't help you. I can't help you. You've driven off a cliff, and I don't feel sorry for you. I really don't. So anyway, that's all I got today. Thank you for listening to my rant. And if you get a chance and you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel so you're notified when I post something new. And we'll see you next time. Okay? That's all I got today. Peace out.